Hey everybody, welcome to Project Premium Harvest. My name is Matt. This channel is about leveraging debt to become wealthy. So the project that I undertook to make this a reality is I took an $80,000 HELOC loan, took that cash, threw that money into my Robinhood account, and then I basically borrowed against that $80,000 with Robinhood margin. Before we start crunching like the real numbers on the spreadsheet that I created, I wanted to show you my Robinhood account just to show I wasn't lying. So I took $80,000 of the HELOC cash, threw it into my Robinhood, but then I also had about $20,000 in here before, so I'm combining the two funds to make $100,000. So the whole project of the premium harvest, what the premium harvest means is I'm choosing Yieldmax funds, these three specific ones of tsly, amzy, and nvdy, so that I can pull as much monthly premium as possible. I don't necessarily care about the growth of the stock or the appreciation. I just want to get that fat check every single month. To start off, the first yield max fund I used or bought was tsly. This one isn't my best performing one, as most of you can tell. But my cost basis, I bought this some time ago. This was my initial $20,000. Is I basically lost $10,000 in value, but every single month this fund is netting me about $700, 700 to $900. So tomorrow is actually going to be the distribution day for the premiums, and so for the month of June 2024, me owning about 1,105 shares has netted me $713 in premium. And then now let's look at amzy. So amzy, I have about another 1,101 shares of this. Yield max fund, and then the premium I'm going to be getting because the distribution was 0.94, so I'm going to get about $1,000, $1,050 from this specific premium distribution. And for me, the cash cow that I've been using that is just massive amounts of dividend is nvdy. So my cost average is about 28.46, but I have about 4,681 shares, and this premium is $7,050. The thing about this specific premium is when I was throwing in my $80,000 into Robinhood, the money didn't all come in here at once. So this $7,000 is only off of 2,750 shares. So if I had the full 4,681 shares uh, vested, this number would be closer to 11,000. So now let's go to the spreadsheet to crunch these numbers. Oops, that's Spotify. Boom. Now let's take a look. All right. So these are all the numbers I was kind of discussing my Robinhood. Robinhood was more just to kind of show you that I wasn't lying. I do have the money invested. Some people talk about estimates, but they never actually use their own money. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to show you numbers in my account and be very transparent. I'm going to show you all my losses, my gains, and if this is a potential viable strategy for you. So let's look at the variable section. This is kind of where I like to organize my thoughts of like how many shares I have, the amount of debt I have uh, for my HELOC loan. So let's kind of dive into it. So this first section, the HELOC loan total. So I borrowed $81,355 against a rental property I own. And then the monthly HELOC payment, it's actually kind of high. So the interest rate is about 11% on it. I don't necessarily like that. Robinhood's actually giving a lower interest rate than a lender, which is kind of funny for me. But my monthly payment is about $798, and then I opt into Robinhood Gold, so I pay the $5. I think it's totally worth it. Um, to borrow, uh, so for my Robinhood margin, it right now they're offering 6.75%, but for me, I like to kind of highball it because I like to leave a little margin for error, so I kind of just round it up to 7%. And then for taxes, I do make quite a bit of money, so I will be in the highest tax bracket when tax season comes around. So it's a good problem to have, you know. And then this kind of describes the different amount of shares I have. So tsly shares, nvdy shares, amzy, and then I'll kind of discuss what SPY is here in a second. But then this HELOC plus original Robinhood account value is about $102,000 starting. So basically, every quarter I'm going to be doing a review if these funds are making me money. So in theory, this number of $102,000 should be increasing. So here are some of the policies I'm going to implement for this specific strategy. So for my tsly and amzy shares, I'm going to do a 50-50 split. So for this 50-50 split, I'm going to do 50% reinvestments back into these tsly and amzy funds, but then the other 50% I'm going to throw into SPY ETF. So the reason why I'm doing this is I'm not 100% sold about the long-term viability of these Yieldmax funds. I'm kind of worried about NAV erosion, but for me to really uh, see if this strategy can even work, I need to do it. So to kind of like protect myself and actually gain some sort of real asset or real good stock in ETFs, I'm basically doing a 50-50. So 50% reinvest into the Yieldmax funds, and then 50% of that premium I get every single month, I'm going to throw into SPY. So for nvdy, so my goal with nvdy here is I want to pay off my HELOC loan as much as possible, as soon as possible. So the strategy I've adopted is I'm going to do of the premium, 75% of the premium, I'm going to pay towards the HELOC monthly payment and the HELOC loan total. The other 25% of the premium I'm going to get every single month from nvdy, I'm going to reinvest it because I want this premium and distribution to grow over time. And then I did mention earlier when I first started talking to you guys is I am borrowing and using Robinhood margin against the $80,000 I put into my Robinhood from the HELOC loan. So the rule I kind of implemented to keep myself safe and don't get margin called or have any problems like that is for now, for the first quarter of the next 3 months, I kind of want to see how these funds work, but I'm not allowed to go over 75% margin. And then, as I mentioned, quarterly reviews. So let's kind of dive into the different payouts. So tsly paid a premium of 0.6448. nvdy paid out 2.56, which was absolutely amazing, and I absolutely love nvdy because I mean I truly believe that AI is the future and it may potentially change humanity with that. And then amzy, like Amazon's a solid company, most customer centric company in the world. As long as they stay true to those values, these kind of premiums are going to be maintained over time, and their premium was 0.9541. So this is my first month doing this much amount of borrowing money, margin, HELOC, and so this is first month. This is unfiltered. So let's dive into the numbers. So as you saw, my tsly premium $713, nvdy premium 7,050, amzy 1,050. So in total, without me working like a single like hard labor coding out in the field, getting rained on, whatever, insert whatever job you want. I made $8,000 pretty much doing nothing. The couple of minutes it took for me to, talk to a lender to get $80,000, and then the couple of clicks that it took for me to borrow against it in Robinhood, I made almost $9,000 pretty much doing nothing, right? So then for me, we're going to discuss these taxes. The thing about these taxes, I'm still actually going to reinvest the money from the taxes back into the funds or SPY. But near like, when 2025 comes around, I'll start taking premiums, reinvesting, and then just use that money towards taxes. Um, so that's kind of what I'm going to do. The taxes for the HELOC monthly payment, kind of talked about it, $798. There it is, nothing too special. So it's definitely, look, you have $8,000, 798. So I estimated the Robinhood margin. So I borrowed about 75. I borrowed $75,000. So at a 7% interest rate, and I kind of divide over 12 years or 12 months, excuse me, 12 months. The estimated monthly margin total will be $442. And then so this total cost is all the debt combined. Yeah, so this number is actually the total debt costs. And then even after all the taxes, monthly HELOC payments, Robinhood margin, I'm still up $4,300, right? You could pretty much retire on this kind of money. Imagine like getting paid $8,800. and then you wouldn't be in this tax bracket. Imagine just living off of that right now, not having it to work, right? But that's not the case. I still want to work a little bit, save a little bit more money because I want to be a millionaire one day. So the net is $4,312. So this is kind of where I want to harp the point of leveraging debt to make more money, right? So for me, if I don't pay off any of this debt soon, right, it costs me $1,240.50 per month. And then after those costs, I made $7,500. Go to anybody you know of and ask for $7,500 pretty much doing nothing. Absolutely unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. So we'll see if this project of harvesting these premiums is going to be successful or a total failure. I'm going to be trying to make a couple of more videos about how NAV erosion affects these premiums, because that's kind of like the big thing about these high distribution funds is NAV erosion. So I'll dive into that. And then let's see. If you thought this content was somewhat helpful, interesting, or kind of want to see where it goes, I definitely would like you guys to like it. If you thought it was great, kind of good content, kind of want to see where it goes, subscribe. And then I'd love to hear if you're even adopting this kind of strategy. You're hesitant, you're worried about NAV erosion. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope to see you again. Thank you.